If you are the unfaithful partner, you are probably exhausted at this point. You've probably been answering the same questions over and over again, and you're probably being asked for details that you wish that you could forget. I get it. Being questioned relentlessly is hard. But what you need to understand is how you answer those questions will determine whether this relationship actually survives. Every time you get defensive, you are sending your partner a message that I care more about protecting myself than helping you heal. So today, we're going to talk about how to answer questions without getting defensive. Because even when you're feeling exhausted, even when it's the fifth time, even when the question feels unfair, you have to be able to pull out this skill. Because the more you get defensive, the worse it's going to make your partner feel. I've made a whole separate video on defensiveness in general, which I'll link down in the description down below. But today, I'm going to apply it specifically to affair recovery questions, because this is something that I see all the time in the couples that I work with. If you're new here, my name is Wes. I'm a couples therapist who specializes in recovery from betrayal and rebuilding trust. And this channel is devoted to helping you do exactly that. If this is your first video in my series, please keep in mind that I have a whole series of videos on recovery from affairs and infidelity that I'll link down below in the description. Without further ado, let's jump into it. So first off, why do you get defensive? Let's talk about why this is so hard. Because it's hard. What defensiveness is actually doing, and I talked about this in my previous video, is it's protecting you from something. It's saying, I feel unsafe in this moment, so I need to defend myself. The problem is that while this may have worked for you in the past to protect you, it's maybe not the best strategy, but one that has worked, it is also selfish. Your partner is bringing up something to you that they care about, and you're making it all about you. The deeper issue here is that there is often a shame loop involved. Dr. Brené Brown, who researches guilt and shame, describes these as two different things. Guilt is I did something bad. Shame is I am bad. And so here's what happens. You hear feedback from a partner, and you probably hear, I'm bad. I'm unlovable. I suck at relationships. Shame comes up, and that shame needs protecting because it's a difficult emotion to feel. And so you get defensive to protect yourself. And this creates a nasty spiral because after an affair, this is amplified because you did do something bad. The shame you're feeling is justified, but defensiveness doesn't help it. So why does defensiveness destroy recovery here? Well, Dr. John Gottman, one of the leading researchers in the field of couples therapy, calls defensiveness one of his 4 horsemen, which I've made other videos about. These are 4 behaviors that predict relationship failure with over 90% accuracy if they're present in your relationship. So if this is going on, you need to fix it. Here's why it's so damaging, especially after affair recovery. It shuts down the conversation with your partner. It says to them, I already told you this. Or maybe even, why are you doing this to yourself? Right? You're telling your partner that their pain is inconvenient to you, which makes them feel crazy. It makes them feel like you're gaslighting them. And when you invalidate their need to understand, even if you don't mean to, this re-traumatizes them. They're asking questions because their nervous system is in threat mode. Your defensiveness is confirming, I can't trust this person. The bottom line is that defensiveness is a luxury that you don't have right now if you really want to recover with your partner. So let's talk about what to do instead. Step 1, pause and breathe. The goal is to catch defensiveness before it happens if you can. I talk about this in my other video. The idea is to catch defensiveness before it happens by noticing the feelings that are coming up in you. When those feelings come up, pause, breathe, regulate. Say to yourself, I'm feeling shame right now, but I don't have to act on this. This is called naming it to tame it. The more you can name the emotion that you're feeling, and that can mean naming it internally, like in your head. It can also mean naming it out loud. Like, oh man, I'm feeling really bad after what you just said. I need a second. Take your time, breathe, try to regulate your body, find a way to bring yourself back to baseline before you respond from that automatic protective place. That's the goal. That's where we want to get to. And it's not going to be easy in the beginning, but the more you practice it, the better you're going to get. Step 2 is to validate first. I stand by this statement that 100% of fights would go better if both partners would just validate each other's feelings first. You don't have to agree. Validation doesn't mean that you agree 100% with what your partner says. It just means that you are validating the impact of what happened for them. So what this can sound like is, I hear you and I can understand why you might feel that. I know we've talked about this before and I'm happy to go over it again. Because you acknowledge the impact of why they are asking. Step 3 then is to get curious. Okay, you ask clarifying questions. This can sound like, can you help me understand why that impacted you in that way? Can you help me understand better what's going on for you right now? The example in an affair context would be, they ask, how could you lie to my face about this for 6 months? Instead of getting defensive and saying something like, I don't know, can we not do this again, please? Get curious. That could be like, I hear that you're trying to understand how I could do that. I know that this matters to you. Let me explain what was happening inside my head. Okay, you are not just asking questions, you are also informing them, telling them the answer that they're looking for. And that leads us into the next step. Step 4 is take accountability for your part. There is always some element that you can take accountability for. And defensiveness is the opposite of that. Dr. John Gottman, in his research on the 4 Horsemen, calls this the antidote to the Horsemen of defensiveness. So find that piece that you can own and own up to it. You can say, I'm sorry that I did that. Or if the question is, why do you keep getting defensive? Breathe, validate, and then say, you're right. I am getting defensive. I'm feeling a lot of shame right now. I'm trying to protect myself, and that is not fair to you. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Step 5 then is to circle back and repair if you jump to defensiveness first. If you messed up, if you already got defensive, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can still repair. What this sounds like is, whoa, I am so sorry. I feel like I just got really defensive right there and I don't need to do that. I want to have a safe and good conversation with you about this. I want to listen to you. Can we please start over? This works because it acknowledges what happened. You're calling out the defensiveness in the moment. You're circling back. You're apologizing. You're trying to reset. And that effort goes a long way. You show your partner that you still care. You're rebuilding a little bit of trust that was just lost in that last interaction. Okay, so let's go through some specific scripts for common scenarios that I see all the time in the couples that I work with. This is the exact language that you can use here, okay? Scenario 1, they asked you the same question that you've already answered. A defensive reaction is, I already told you this. Why do you keep asking me? A non-defensive reaction to this, using the framework I just shared with you, would be pause and breathe. Validate. I know you needed to hear this again. I'm happy to answer. And then answer fully. You asked the question, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you what happened. Scenario 2 then is, there's a question that makes you feel judged. An example would be, how could you lie to my face? You feel judged. Defensively, you react, I don't know. I was messed up, okay? Non-defensively, you validate their impact. That's a fair question. Let me tell you a little bit about it because I can tell that it really impacted you. You get curious about what they need. You say something like, are you asking because you're trying to understand what was going through my head or because you need to express how hurt you are? And let me hear it. And then answer honestly. You can say, I was compartmentalizing. I know that doesn't make it okay, but that is the truth. That's you taking accountability. Scenario 3 is you are too flooded to answer, right? You get overwhelmed in the moment because your partner's asking all these questions. You start to stonewall, you shut down, you walk away. A non-defensive way of handling this instead would be to name what's happening. I want to answer your question, but I am way too flooded right now to do it well. I'm going to request a break. Can we take 20 minutes so I can calm down? And then I'll come back and I can answer you fully. And then you got to actually come back. That's the key. So you might be asking yourself, when do these questions stop coming? Well, if you answer non-defensively from the beginning, questions typically can decrease naturally over half a year to a year because your partner isn't trying to torture you. They are trying to feel safe with you. And when you consistently show them again and again and again that I will answer calmly and honestly no matter how many times you ask, their nervous system starts to believe that you're safe again. And questions might decrease. So my final challenge for you is over the next 30 days, if you're watching this video, commit to answering every question your partner asks non-defensively. So no, I already told you this, or why does this matter to you? Just thank you for asking. Here's the answer. Remember from my other video that defensiveness is not a character flaw. It's a habit that is born out of fear. It protected you for a long time, but you can learn to respond differently. You can interrupt that pattern. If this video was helpful to you, then please give it a like, add a comment down below. It really helps me with the algorithm, and share this with somebody who might benefit from it. If you're interested, I have a link for coaching down below, or therapy if you're in the state of Illinois. And if you need help immediately, if you're in the first 30 days after an affair has just taken place, then please click the link to get my free guide, which is a first 30 days survival guide for the immediate time after an affair. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.